Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So this is a continuation of the drafting tutorial. So this is how to sew this jacket and this is how it looks on me. So now let's get right into the sewing. So now this is my center front and back front. We're going to add half of an inch for sewing. That's the sewing allowance. So I'm going to add it to the shoulder, the neckline, but we're not going to add anything to the length and to the armhole. So add to every other side, but do not add to the length because we already added 2 inches for the length of this jacket. So let's cut this out. This is our back piece. Now let's cut out the front piece. And when cutting, do not forget to place your fabric on fold. So my fabric is already on fold. If you cut it without placing it on fold, you're going to have 1 pieces each. So we are supposed to have 2 pieces for the side, the center, the back. So place your fabric on fold. Now we have our front and back pieces together, already cut out. Now we're going to cut the collar. So we're going to place the collar on our fabric, which is already on fold, and we're going to add half of an inch all the way around it. So this curved part is going to be placed like so, and that straight part will be in the center front of your fabric. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to place this like so. We're going to be cutting 2 of this the same way we cut out the first one. Is how we're going to be cutting the second one. So this is what the collar looks like. We have 2 of this. Now let's get sewing. So I cut out lining for my front piece, and my lining is 2 inches shorter than the jacket. So if you want to use a different fabric as your lining to appear as your lapel, you can do that. So I added interfacing to the front part of my fabric of my lapel jacket. So I'm going to place the side front to the center front as shown. I'm going to pin it down, and we're going to be sewing this with half of an inch. I will do the same thing for my lining. Now after sewing, this is what it looks like, and this is my lining. So the back part, we have 2 pieces each, making it 4. We're going to sew this and the lining as well. So after sewing, I gave this a press, and this is what it looks like, our front pattern, and this is the back pattern already sewn together, the 4 pieces. So I'm going to place this right sides facing each other, and we're going to be using our pin to pin this down. We're going to be taking this to our sewing machine, and we'll sew this with half of an inch. So just place it down, making sure everything is nice and neat, and we're going to sew this. So just stitch it down with half of an inch on the both shoulders. So this is the lining for my back piece. I use the lining. You can use any fabric you want as your lining. So I joined my lining the same way I joined my front and back panel together. So this is my lining. the front part, which has the lapel, and the back part. I joined them together, so it looks like we have two jackets, but the one on the right is our actual jacket. Now I'm going to show you my sleeve. So I used a sleeve pattern to draft this, and I cut it on my fabric. So the lining on this sleeve is 1 inch shorter than the length of my sleeve. I don't know if you understand. So you can see it's equal at the top but not at the bottom. So I just minus 1 inch from the lining. So I will sew the lining on the lining part and my Ankara fabric on the real jacket part, the front jacket part. So I'm going to notch this part, and we're going to open our armhole on the jacket as shown, and we're going to be placing this part. So on this sleeve I have front part and back part. I marked it. If you see clearly, there's one part, the front part is deeper than the back, so that's how you cut your pattern on your sleeve. If you want me to make a detailed tutorial on how I draft this sleeve, you can let me know in the comment section. So I'm going to place this on my armhole as shown, and I'm going to sew this. The lining part of the sleeve, I'm going to sew it to the lining part of the jacket. Now this is the sleeve for the jacket, and let's work on our collar. So I added interfacing to my collar, and I notched that upper part. So where we have that curve at the top is where you're going to notch. So I'm just going to show you. You fold it like this, and this top part is where we're going to notch. So I'm going to notch this. Make sure you're notching the right place. So on the lapel part, where we have the starting of our lapel, I'm going to mark out 2 inches. So just take it as shown, 2 inches from the center front, and just mark it, because we're going to be adding our collar, and our collar will not get to the end of the lapel. So this is the back part of the jacket. So the middle part where we sewn together, we're going to place our collar where we notched, right sides facing each other as shown, and I'm going to pin it down. We're going to be pinning this all around the neckline. Since we already have our front and back piece sewn together, we're going to be pinning this down, and it will end at that 2 inches mark we marked at the beginning of the lapel. So this collar is not going to go all round, it's going to stop somewhere so we can have our notch effect. So you're going to see where I stopped pinning this collar. That is where our lapel is going to be, our notch effect is going to be, and where our collar is going to stop. So this is me pinning it down at that point. So you see the remaining part, that is our 2 inches we marked. The collar is not going to get to that place, so I'm still going to do the same thing for here. Make sure your collar is equal, make sure everything is nice and neat, and just stitch it, just pin it down before stitching so it doesn't move. So after pinning it down, we'll be having our notched effect at that point. So you see the remaining part here where the pin did not get to. So this is the 2 inches we left. Now we're going to sew this down on our front part of our jacket and also the lining part. So after sewing, this is the 2 inches I'm talking about at the beginning of the lapel, and this is what the collar looks like on the lining part, and this is my actual jacket. So I went ahead to close the sides, my sleeves down to the end of the jacket. Now we're going to be working on the collar. So we're going to take this to our machine. We'll start from that 2 inches we left, take it down, take it up to our collar as shown. We take it all the way to the collar. Then you raise your presser foot, you take it like this and also like this. So after sewing, I'm just going to make tiny notches on this, and make sure you do not cut on your fabric. Don't cut the part you already sewn, but just make sure you notch it and it is nice and neat. So just make tiny notches on this as shown. You can trim out the excess if you have excesses. I do not have any excess, so I just left it this way, but I notched it nicely. So after we've done this part, I'm going to sew down my lining to my actual jacket. So I'm going to make sure the lining is equal to the jacket as shown, and I'm going to close the center front like this. If you see there is a fold at the bottom, that is because our lining is shorter than our fabric, so it will give us this neat finishing at the bottom. So we're going to close the middle part. I left the center front of the lining open because we're going to be passing this all through since we've sewn the jacket together. So now we're going to take out our sleeve, and this is just the ending part. Take out our sleeve from that place we opened as shown. So just take out your sleeve to the wrong side, take out the other sleeve, flip it to the wrong side as you see me doing, and I'm going to show you how you can sew this neatly. Now after bringing it out, we're going to place the side seam where you joined your sleeve. You're going to place them together. Seams are together. I'm going to be slow about this part so you can understand what I'm saying. Now this part where we sewn on our fabric and our lining, you're going to open it to the right side as you see me doing. So just flip it to the right side and open it wide like so, and do the same thing for the lining. Flip it to the right side like this, and this part where the joining is on your lining, you're going to place it on the fabric. So I'm going to show you how you're going to do it. So you're going to match them together like this. You're going to match this part where the seams are together, make them face right sides. So they should be facing each other like this, and you're going to turn it like this and pin it down. So if you do it using this method, your sleeve is going to come out nice. Your hands will be able to fit into the sleeve. So don't turn it, just do it the way I show you, and everything is going to come out neat. So you're going to sew this round, and when you're sewing it, it's going to be easy to sew. You won't have any problem. So after joining my sleeve, this is what it looks like on me. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.